Debra Borchardt with the Green Market Report, and joining me now is Representative Earl Blumenauer. You have been at the forefront for cannabis legislation for many years. Are you feeling optimistic or frustrated that we're still not there yet?
I am frustrated we're still not there, but I'm extraordinarily optimistic because the pieces are coming together. We've won the battle with the public. Over the course of a half century that I've been working on this, we've now reached the point where the majority of Republicans support full legalization, 70% of the general public. When we're talking about medical cannabis, that's a settled case. It's like the 4th of July. The evidence is clear, the public supports it, and we have policy pieces that are falling in place that make me optimistic we can finish it in the next 194 days that I remain in Congress.
That's right. You are going to be quietly resigning, like they say nowadays. That's a good point. With rescheduling, as you mentioned, very large document from the HHS recommending that it get rescheduled, lots of great scientific information. But here we are in the comment period. There's been a request for a hearing and more comments. Do you think that this is going to maybe get tied into the potential election in November, or do you think it's kind of on its own track?
Well, it wouldn't bother me if it got involved with the election in November. Cannabis is a winning issue for any politician who embraces it. Chuck Schumer is majority leader because John Fetterman embraced cannabis legalization early. When he was lieutenant governor, I had a chance to work with John. He was very clear he would not have won that close Senate race but for his strong support for legalized cannabis. I point out to people in the campaign for the president that Joe Biden wouldn't have won Arizona by 30,000 votes if there hadn't been an initiative on the ballot that passed 60-40. That drew lots of young and progressive people to the polls and provided Joe Biden with the margin that enabled him to win Arizona. And this could be replicated across the board.
Is there any concern that former President Trump, if he did get reelected, could roll back the gains on cannabis legislation? We're certainly seeing efforts in conservative states like Texas and Florida that aren't showing any love for adult use or cannabis legislation at all. We thought Roe v. Wade couldn't get changed. It got changed. Is there concern that if Trump got reelected, he could roll back all the gains on cannabis legislation? Well,
he's completely unpredictable, and he doesn't believe in anything except himself and being in the spotlight. Since 2016, the one sort of specific that he made was allowing the states to hold it. But he doesn't believe in this. He's unpredictable, but I think there's so much momentum here. It's beyond the capacity of one politician or one administration to roll it back. So I think that this genie is not going to get back in the bottle. It's something that the American public demand, and they've helped us drive it. And we've built a very strong political constituency. We have a bipartisan cannabis caucus that I work with in Congress, and I think there's strength in that approach. So I think it's durable, and it's going to be like marriage equality. I think the dominoes are going to fall very quickly.
Let's talk about the Farm Bill, the 2024 Farm Bill. It originally was pretty much keeping hemp status quo, and then we got this amendment that was going to basically roll back some of the things with hemp and the THC levels, which would really upend the hemp industry. You got people for it, you got people against it. Do you think that that legislation is going to go forward with the amendment to roll back that THC percentage?
Well, I think the dissension on the part of the Republicans over the Farm Bill makes it very unlikely that a Farm Bill passes at all. Oh. And this is one more complicating factor that doesn't help in terms of people who really want legislation that deals with farm policy. The hemp issue is one that actually has a lot of momentum. But this is a sideshow with the overall Farm Bill, and I just don't think it's going to pass. There's no question that overall, when we deal with cannabis and hemp, that it makes sense to have some product standardization. Cannabis products today are a lot more potent than they were 10 or 20 or 40 years ago. And there's an opportunity to just sort of treat people like grown-ups, have policies that make sense, be able to test them, and be able to make sure that we provide protections for people who need protections.
All right, let's wrap up with the Safe Banking Act.
Leader Schumer understands the merit of reform. I think he is supportive of things like safe banking that's teed up and ready to go. And I think he appreciates how potent this is politically. So I'm cautiously optimistic. It's great having Schumer and Wyden and Cory Booker, a longtime champion, all on board for the Senate moving forward, unlike what we had in the past where Mitch McConnell was operating sort of like a hospice for cannabis legislation. That's not the case now. I think the leadership will help us get it across the finish line, and the American public will be better for it.
And I hope they do it just for you, for all the hard work that you've done all these years to finally say, I've gotten it done. I've been at this for so long. Thank you so much, Representative Blumenauer, for all your work.
My pleasure.